Hi, and welcome to episode 27 of Soft Signal. It's been a while since we've been with you guys. It's been a few weeks. Just got repeated it. I think we did three episodes in 3 days, so we just took a bit of a break, but we're back. Um, and welcome to another episode. And today, I think we're just gonna. Sorry, I've been out of practice, as you can tell. So, in today's episode, we haven't been watching too much of the IPL, honestly, just because of timings and work and all of life basically has got in the way. But we are aware of certain things that have happened in Indian cricket over the past few weeks. Um, the biggest one of them has been Virat Kohli stepping down as T20 captain for India and also stepping down as RCB captain, and which is a little less important. But there are rumors that he might step down as ODI captain and not test for now. But yeah, there seems to be some kind of anti-Kohli thing in the media. Um, every day there are these sources who talk about certain players in the team having rifts with him. So yeah, all of that said, what is your initial reaction to all this? First of all, were you expecting this to happen on the eve of the World Cup?
So I wasn't expecting it to happen because I just felt that Kohli is so comfortable as a captain and so comfortable leading this team. And he comes across as the kind of guy who wants to have this added responsibility, and if anything, he thrives because of this added responsibility. So no, wasn't expecting it, but honestly, the calls for replacing him as captain in white ball cricket were around. I mean, there were a lot of people talking about it for quite some time now. A because India has not won an ICC trophy in the white ball format, and B because Rohit Sharma has proven himself to be a really good tactical captain for Mumbai Indians. So the calls were there; it was coming, or rather, people were calling, asking for it, but I didn't actually see it happening. Um, on whether it's the right decision or not, it's easy to say now, right, that it is the right decision. Um, so, um, yeah, I mean, I'll still say it is the right decision, but not because of that reason. Um, I think I think everybody knew and everybody has seen that Rohit Sharma is tactically better than Virat Kohli as captain, and also it's sort of well known that Rohit is better at managing youngsters and making them feel more a part of the team than Virat. Now, of course, we are not privy to the Indian dressing room, so we can only say what we read and hear. Um, but yeah, if that's the case, then makes sense. I think this is Rohit Sharma's time, right? He's the last few years for him have been particularly, successful in terms of his career. He's kind of established himself as India's Test match opener. His white ball performances have risen um, a lot in the last few years, and now he finally will be the captain of India post the T20 World Cup. What I'm interested though to understand is how this impacts India's performance in the T20 World Cup, right? Because that's key. I mean, to have your captain resign before just a few days before, a month before the World Cup, I don't know, that could have some sort of impact on the player's mindset as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that we said Rohit Sharma because he is most likely going to be the successor, but that hasn't been announced yet. Also, there was some talks that he might be too old and they might just consider someone younger like Rishabh Pant or not Rishabh, or KL Rahul. I think it'll be Rohit Sharma. It should at least. And it's T20 cricket. You don't have to have a long-term captain. You can have someone for the next two World Cups. So yeah, I'm surprised that it happened at all, even though there were talks for a while. Um I thought Kohli would actually. I thought he had more influence on Indian cricket, and he wouldn't be. It seems like it was a forced decision. I don't think there was like he wanted to do it, and it's strange that it's not like this has happened recently, and it's not like India has been doing it so badly in T20 internationals. So why just 1 month before the World Cup? It's pretty bad timing. It kind of throws things into disarray. he's also resigned from RCB captaincy soon after. It's just and now there's so much talk around non-cricket, right? When the talk should have been around that, like we had came off a very successful series in England. We're playing the IPL as a lead up to the World Cup, and hopefully might win this World Cup. So it's just distracting and unnecessary, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, the timing could have been better. Normally, such an announcement could have come after the World Cup, irrespective of India having won it or lost it, or not won the World Cup. I mean,
Yeah,
um, so that would have been ideal. Of course, now this leads to two sort of scenarios, right? You can think of the first one where actually Virat Kohli has been asked to resign for various reasons, right? And asked to resign and obviously do it immediately and allow at least 1 month for the next captain to start, strategizing and putting some plans together. Yes, you're right. By the way, it's not been announced that Rohit Sharma is the captain, so I preempted that, or rather, I am preempting that he will be announced
yeah.
as the captain. To be honest, if somebody else becomes captain, it will be absolutely shocking. Um,
I'll feel
but
bad for Rohit in that case.
Exactly, exactly. So yes, in a way, maybe the thought was that let's ask him to resign now, so that the next captain gets a few months to strategize and think about what the plan is going to be. Uh, Point two could be Virat Kohli himself, right? Saying that okay, enough is enough. There's been too much talk about this. I'm going to resign and I'm going to challenge myself to actually win the World Cup and go out on a high and show people that I was actually a very good captain. And given the kind of personality Kohli is, um, that might actually be a scenario in his mind.
Yeah,
So interesting things have come out in the media of late about his captaincy. Apparently, even some senior player complained about the way Kohli is leading the side. God knows if that's true. Um, uh, there was uh, there was also some other talk going around as to how there's a rift between Kohli and Rohit, and there are different camps in the Indian team. We don't know how true that is, but either ways, hopefully whoever leads India out in a few days time, in a few weeks time, knows exactly what they're doing, and hopefully India can win an ICC trophy. It's been a while.
I think that's the main focus, right? It's also weird that now if he wins, is he gonna like take back his decision because there's a World Cup right next year? So if a captain has won a World Cup for you, why would you replace him for this event next year? So which is also in India. It's is it no, it's as in Australia, but still it's just weird. That's another reason why this timing of this is weird. But yeah, I think there was also talk that Kumble might be coming back as coach, and so Kohli didn't want to work with him, so he's resigned. Yeah, so there was talk about Kumble coming back, so Kohli might not want to work with him, which is weird. I don't see why Kumble would come back either. There's so many these gossip mills with so much media around these days as well. Everyone is looking for their next big story, and the focus should just be on the cricket. So let's actually talking about that. Let's shift focus to the cricket. And the squad for the World Cup can be changed up to October 16th. So there's a couple of weeks. It'll also be by the time the IPL ends. Our first match is on the 24th. Seems like most players are in the UAE already who would if anyone would be replaced. So what's your initial take? I know there are certain players not performing well, but do you think anyone should be replaced, and or is it's fine, the squad has been announced, let's just go with it? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I think if there is room for somebody to be replaced, then they probably should do it. It's hard on the individual because the squad's announced technically, but it'll be hard on the individual. But I think if somebody is not performing up to scratch in the IPL, then that's probably grounds to replace them. The way this IPL is scheduled, clearly it's kind of a preparation for the World Cup for the Indian players. I mean, that's why India is not playing any T20 international series.
Yeah,
So clearly, that it means that the selectors will look at IPL performances, and if necessary, there could be changes. Um, there are some possible candidates. I think the Mumbai Indians troop has not performed that well in the IPL so far. So the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, Vishan Kishan, Rahul Chair, Hardik Pandya, Rohit Sharma, none of them have really
yeah,
shown through this IPL. Rohit Sharma obviously is not going to be replaced. Uh, Hardik Pandya also probably not. I hear reports saying that they are trying to manage his workload so that he can start bowling soon, and that's his key. That's going to be his key contribution. Apart from the big hitting, of course, his ability to bowl
yeah,
allows India to balance the lineup. The other three, however, are going through a bad run of form. Surya Kumar, especially, got a 30 odd the other day, but apart from that, he's not really performed. Ishan Kishan, anyways, was not going to be part of the starting 11. Shreyas Iyer is in the standby. So, in the standby list of players. So, if Surya Kumar doesn't really regain much form, there could be a potential switch there, I think.
yeah.
Um, and then, of course, Rahul Chahar. And I'll let you comment on that one. What do you think about Rahul Chahar's chances?
Yeah. First, before that, I just wanted to speak about Surya Kumar because it'll be quite the journey for him. Like from being selected in the squad in the T20 squad to suddenly being in the Test squad and being everyone was clamoring for him to replace Rahane in the Test team, and now uh, being on the verge of being dropped from the T20 World Cup, which he should have been in the first place. I think that might be playing with his mind. He's been talked about for a number of roles in the past couple of months, which might be affecting his game. But yeah, I think Chehel, we have to be careful with how we pronounce these. So, but Yuzvendra Chehel is actually performing really well in this IPL. I think he and Cheher is not. Um, I still think that, and he's spoken about it. He has actually said that it's a confidence issue. He was not bowling well in India. He didn't have confidence in himself. He's now finding his groove. I actually think it wouldn't be a bad call to select him because he's much more experienced. He's played in World Cups before. Um, and it is about confidence, right? And then spinners are going to be super important in this T20 World Cup. So it wouldn't be the worst thing to select him. Um, it's hard on Chahar because he's actually bowled really well the past couple of seasons. He played for India as well in the England series. But yeah, we also already have him and Varun Chakravarti, who hasn't played much international cricket. So having two inexperienced bowlers and one of them who's not bowling well might not be the optimal situation for India going into the World Cup.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be a tough call though, because
Yeah,
Chahel is not even in the standby list of players.
but there's
So
no spinner, so I think
yeah,
if they need to
yeah,
replace a spinner, they can get a spinner.
they could potentially get him in. I mean, I would support it if it happens, simply because he's really bowled well in the IPL so far in these few
Yeah,
matches. But let's see. Also, sometimes I guess the selectors also need to consider the weight of work that has gone into a player being selected, right? So, yeah, by that I mean that for the last year or so, Cheher has probably been better than Chahal,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so they need to consider that. And yeah, we have to be very careful with these things because Chahal Cheher so similar. That might also go against what I'm saying on about Surya Kumar being replaced by Shreyas Iyer. But then Shreyas Iyer
Chris
himself has put in
actually
a
played
lot of
well last two
he
years.
played
Yeah,
well, exactly. And in fact, the reason he probably missed out of being in the original list of being in the list of the main squad is because he was injured. But now that he's back from injury, he's playing well even for DC. So I think that change could very well be on the cards. Ishan Kishan, I think, by virtue of being a left-hander and a wicket keeper, um, that's what's going to save him and keep him in the squad, even if he's not scoring too well for Mumbai at the moment.
yeah. Also, Kohli likes Chahal, because he's been they've been at RCB. They get along well in the Indian team also. I think he looks to players who he can trust. So I think he might select him. I don't know how much say he has now in the whole selection process, but maybe he is someone who might get in. Another thing we need to consider is that MSD is the mentor of the team, and so there might be a small outside chance for Ruturaj Gaikwad because he's playing for CSK and actually playing really well. Got a century yesterday. But I do. I mean, I don't think that's happening. He's an opener unless he's in super form. But who are we going to replace for him?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? It also depends on what role you play,
Yeah,
and because he's an opener, I don't see him replacing either Rohit
yeah,
or Kohli or KL Rahul. He's playing really well. It would have served him better if he was a middle order player. It's as simple as that. But he's not, so he's gonna have to wait his turn. Um, and I think he will get his turn soon. Just not in this World Cup at this time. I think.
yeah. But never say never, especially with MSD. Maybe calling the shots. That's the thing. We don't know who's calling what shots in this
Yeah.
setup now because Kohli's on the way out, Shastri's on the way out, MSD is like this mentor, Rohit is there, so it's weird. You don't know who's in charge, which is totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it's totally unnecessary, but you're right. It's weird. Everybody's and usually when you know someone's on the way out, the credibility of that person is also reduced. So
Yeah,
that's both the coach and the captain in this case, right? Both of them on their way out. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting. I tell you what, Rohit Sharma is going to have a big role to play in this World Cup as as a strategist.
yeah,
Um, okay, it's not been announced that he's going to lead the side after the World Cup, but let's probably be realistic. It's probably going to be him 9 times
yeah,
out of 10. So he's got a role to play in this World Cup for sure. And I think he's going to be one of the key pillars when it comes to strategy and also when it comes to batting. Um, so it should be interesting to see him open the batting probably with Virat Kohli.
yeah. Well, and also let's hope that Kohli has actually resigned because he wants to focus on his batting. So let's hope because he's only 32. I mean, he's 33 soon. Not that old. He can have 4 or 5 years of good cricket left in him. So let's hope he can return to his batting form.
So,
Anything else you want? Sorry, I think you want to
yeah, I
say
wanted to
something.
ask you, do you think Kohli can still go past Sachin's record of 50 ODI centuries? He's on 43 now.
Yeah, I
42,
think
but he's
yeah.
been there for a while.
I know he's been there for a while, but I think it's fine. We'll play Sri Lanka at some point, play West Indies at some point.
Yeah,
Uh,
in
I'm
India.
not saying he can only score against them, but I think he'll go past it. He might even go past the runs. What is the run? He's on 12,000, and oh, Sachin is 18,000. So maybe not the runs,
Maybe not the runs.
but I think he'll get past the 8 centuries. I thought he would have gone past by now,
I
but
thought so as well. I thought so as well. I thought he would have been long past it by now, but he probably still will. But I'm not sure he'll be able to go past the international centuries,
no,
the
that he
100
won't.
international centuries,
Yeah,
and that too I thought he would go past. But the last 2 years have not been very good for Kohli.
yeah. If you say 5 years and he has 4 centuries a year, you can get up to 80, 90. You get close, but I don't think he'll go past. And
Yeah,
that's even assuming that he's going to play 5 years and score those many centuries.
yeah,
But maybe that's another topic. But yeah, it's interesting to figure this out.
yeah.
If anyone does, it'll be good if he does break the
Mhm.
record.
Exactly.
So I think that's probably it for this week. We will be back next week with looking forward to the T20 World Cup. So like we did for the England series, we'll have one episode where we talk about past T20 World Cups and our memories with the tournament, and then the following episode will actually look forward to this tournament. Um, but thanks for joining. I hope it's been 3 weeks. We tried to get back to schedule. So bear with us if this episode hasn't been the most free flowing as some of our previous episodes. But yeah, we'll be back next week with some T20 World Cup action.
Yep, perfect. Sounds good.
Thank you.